Hi everyone, I'm Katie Oakes. I work for Cornell Cooperative Extension as the horticulture educator, which means that I teach people about growing things. But I'm also lucky enough that my family has an apple farm, which is where I'm at today. So I'm going to put on my Lynn Oaken Farm sweatshirt so I can teach you all about apples and how they grow. So right now we are in our orchard that's on Ridge Road in Medina, and I'm standing in between two different varieties of apples, and they're different. Can you see what's different about them? Here we have Ida Red, and then on the other row we have Crispin. Who can tell me what the difference is between these two apples? It's the color, that's right. The Ida Reds are nice and bright red, and the Crispins are a green apple. There's also a lot of differences in flavor and texture between different apple varieties too. Did you know that there's over thousands of different apple varieties in the whole world, and each one has a different texture, a different flavor, and different skin color? So some of those differences are size. We have very large apples, and we have smaller apples. We also have differences in shape. So this apple, my big one, is very round. It kind of looks like a circle. And then we have some that are very long. They almost look like an oval or egg-shaped. Some apples have differences in the way they taste. Some are very sweet. This one right here is called a sweet tango. That's really sweet. And some are really tart. This one is a 20 ounce. Woo! That one's really tart. And some are just in between. The other differences that you can have is some apples have very smooth skin. You can see it's very smooth. And others have kind of rough skin. This one tastes delicious, but its skin is kind of scratchy like a potato. So you can also see apples can come in all different colors. We have some that are almost every color of the rainbow. At our farm, we even have some that have a surprise on the inside. This one is nice and yellow and green on the outside, but it has pink speckles on the inside. This one's called a pink pearl. So it just shows you how different apples can be. Now, when you cut into an apple, you can see all the different parts. Right here, we have the stem, and that's what holds the apple onto the tree. We've got the skin on the outside that protects the apple from weather and damage. We've got the flesh of the apple, which is the white part, which is what you eat. And right here in the middle, we have the core. Also in the core are the seeds. Those seeds are also called pips. Kind of tap them out and see what they look like. Now these seeds contain everything needed to grow a whole new apple tree. In the right conditions, this seed will shoot out a little root and leaves and eventually become a whole apple tree. Now, each apple starts off as a beautiful flower. So this orchard in the springtime is covered in beautiful blossoms, and each one of those blossoms eventually becomes an apple fruit. But how does that happen? Does anyone know? We have a helper in our orchard on the farm that helps turn the blossoms into the fruit. Does anyone know what that helper is? Bees! Bees are so important to many different fruits and vegetables that we eat. They help move pollen from flower to flower in a process called pollination. I've got my flowers right here to sort of give you an example. So if this was the crispin flower here, and this was the Ida red flower over here, the bee would come around, buzzing around, looking for something sweet to eat, and it spies the apple blossom. It would start eating the nectar and sipping from the flower, and in the meantime would get pollen all over its little fuzzy body. The next flower it goes to is going to be the little crispin flower, and then it's going to sip its little snack out of the crispin flower, and in the process rub that pollen all over the tip of the crispin flower. And as that flower develops, the blossoms and the petals fall away and the apple grows in its place. Sometimes you can even see the very remnants of the flower after the apple is fully formed. Now, bees are super important for so many things that we eat, so please be kind to bees. We need them for our food. All right, now apples are delicious to eat on their own, but we can also do many things with them. Does anyone know some things that we can make with apples that you might have in your own kitchen, or maybe your aunt or your friend or your grandma makes? Anyone have any ideas? Well, I love apple pie. But you can also make apple crisp. Applesauce is very easy to make. And also when you press fresh apples, you get this beautiful juice called apple cider. You also can have the apple juice that you find at the shelves in grocery stores. So apples are a really delicious, healthy snack, and I hope you learned a little bit more about them from our farm on Ridge Road, Lynn Oaken Farms. Thank you.